We can discuss that whenever you'd like.
Something that Morris said was not right?
Yes, he was basically saying that the church did not have they weren't able to do what they could do.
Yeah,
and that it would be shut down. And when we went to the city agreed with what we were saying, that they could do parking in the front, parking in the back, and they had situations where they could, if they had certain circumstances, which they did, they could have the parking lot they needed. And he led Todd down a bad path, and Todd, as our president, stood up after getting voted down like 80-1. He stood up and said, "Hey, we don't want this," and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It was almost a slam dunk that we did. So, but if you want to defend him, you go right ahead.
Well, actually, it's two different things, and I stand by everything I said out in the parking
I know
lot.
you do.
Right, and yeah, you're absolutely right. ZBA voted to approve it. There you go.
There you
But
go.
on what
But that's-
basis?
They didn't really explain it. Actually, what they did was the applicant put forth their justification, and ZBA read that into the record as the justification.
Yeah, there were drainage issues, and you have to put an underground detention system closest to the drainage. Well, the drain is going to drain down to, and I went over that. In our meeting in the park, and then it was brought up again when we voted on it, and it was cleared. And then apparently,
I just
But that's not
didn't
what-
see a legal justification for
I
their
don't know why you're
variance.
here.
Time out.
Why are you
Time out.
here?
Time out.
This is our meeting with our group.
Anyone is allowed to come to these
You can
meetings.
come. I don't know why he set it up. He's already been defeated on this. Now
It's not about that.
Y'all go ahead. Enjoy.
Those are definitely interesting horses.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Crestline Neighborhood Association for August 28th, 2025. I'm calling the meeting to order. Has everybody signed in? I think you have. Thank you very much. Can I get a motion to accept the agenda of the meeting tonight?
Okay, Flo, and sorry, are you Dr.,
I'm a visitor, I'm Doug Rollins, I'll be glad to sign.
yeah, please sign in.
Okay.
Dr. Rollins.
I've got
He
it.
is. But we'll get you for the next one. How about a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting?
That was me and you.
Amy and Floyd. All right, so reports tonight. I think India told me that she is going out of town for a long weekend, but she had a couple of updates for us. One, I asked if we could get a little extension on the drain project that's going in along Haygood, right at Amy's house, basically, if you know where that is, on the corner of Monarch. The entire shopping center drains down Monarch and then turns onto Baker Drive and goes 2/3 of the way down Baker Drive before it gets before it goes underground. And by the time it gets down there, usually the water is way out in the street. If you drive down Baker Drive, it's covered with debris and gravel. And a 10-foot little arm just coming off that main drain to put a drain right at her sidewalk would alleviate all of that. And 10 feet doesn't seem like a huge extension. India said we could do it. She's got to find money for it. ARPA funds have dried up, thank goodness. But hopefully we can at least kind of figure out how much it is so we can decide if we want to put our neighborhood funds into it or something like that. No, that's a separate issue that still needs to be fixed. But it would probably help it a lot, side wouldn't be there, right? But she still needs it to flow to that side. So, and then she also told me that, kind of like Crestline Park, they're working to get a private contractor to take care of the land where the FEMA lots are along Mountaindale, and take care of the Jefferson County greenways as well. And then I think by next month they want the entire creek side of the trail fully maintained with contracts in place to keep it nice and tight. Because it's a mess right now. If y'all have gone through the FEMA lands, the grass is 3 or 4 feet tall. Also, I was going to try to get with her about a former president. Ellen Tipton told me about a lawsuit years ago where the settlement agreement was that there would be a tracked vehicle in the creek to clear out the bank. And if you remember years ago, we used to have that machine in there, and it would just kind of go through and mow the creek back down and keep that handy. And it's kind of stopped, and we're trying to figure out why and if we can get that back going again. But no word on that yet. So also, and I didn't hear from Flora Johnson, but she's not here, so I guess there's nothing. Did you hear from her? Our signs, our new neighborhood meeting signs to announce these meetings that we approved the money for in February. I think we're still waiting on that to get through the legals and committees and city councils. But, it takes 6 months to get a ream of paper, so, but I guess they're coming. Let's see, next, how about Elizabeth Sanfilippo from Highland Park Neighborhood? Do you want this or you want to grab that one?
Oh.
That's ready to go.
Oh. Do I see him here? So my name is Elizabeth Sanfilippo. I'm the president of the Highland Park Neighborhood Association. I did see the minutes from the last meeting, and there were some statements that were incorrect about some committees that we have, and some statements made that were not very nice about Morris. And so I wrote a letter and I wanted it to be included, so I'm just gonna read that. Dear Todd, thank you for sharing with me the minutes of Crestline's July 2025 Neighborhood Association meeting. I'm requesting this letter be included with the August minutes and read aloud at the meeting to correct some of the misstatements of facts regarding Highland Park's committee structures and responsibilities. I would also like to address the character attack leveled against Morris Newman, where a Crestline resident allegedly stated she had received feedback from neighbors in Highland Park Neighborhood Association regarding their zoning committee, and was told the zoning committee, in dealings with Morris Newman, who is the chairman of the committee, turned into an HOA-type enforcement group, creating headaches due to the committee getting involved in small matters, including requesting to know paint colors. There are a lot of negative feelings and control issues between the Highland Park Neighborhood Association and the actions of their zoning committee, including Morris Newman. Some background. Morris was elected Highland Park Vice President in 1990 and elected President in 1992 and served until 98. The very first thing Morris did as an officer was to establish the zoning committee, the same committee that has reigned in existence for over 30 years. The committee was created to facilitate informed discussion by the overall neighborhood. It has never been used in any shape or form to limit or exclude input from any resident. In fact, it does just the opposite. It ensures that all voices and concerns are heard by applicants and potentially affected neighbors. This committee has been instrumental in protecting and preserving the historical and residential-friendly character of Highland Park. We also now have a local historic advisory committee, LHAC. When the city design review process is triggered by a permit for a structure in a historic district needing review, the LHAC reviews the case and makes an advisory recommendation to the design review committee members per design guidelines and historic preservation parameters established by the U.S. Department of the Interior. These parameters are intended to preserve the critical historic architectural elements of properties in these specific districts only. Forest Park also has historic districts where the design review process is required and a Forest Park LHAC exists. I believe Crestline does not have any designated historic districts, so it does not have an LHAC. To be clear, paint colors alone do not need a permit or trigger design review and thus do not need review by the LHAC. Morris Newman has never been involved with or served on our LHAC. The local historic districts were designated after he served as an NA officer. Several months ago, when you told me about a critical zoning matter that had come up in Crestline, I recommended I introduce you to Morris due to the breadth of his knowledge concerning zoning issues. He is, without question, the most knowledgeable and respected Birmingham citizen on all matters related to zoning. He is a highly respected member of the Highland Park community, and he serves as a trusted and knowledgeable advisor to me. In the past 2 years, I've relied on Morris's work on several highly complex and critical zoning matters in Highland Park. Matters that required him to use his deep institutional knowledge and finely honed skills. I get complaints about a lot of things, but I have never gotten a complaint related to Morris and his work done to help preserve Highland Park. In 1979, Morris accepted a position as a National Labor Relations Board agent, a position he held for the next 38 years. The job of this agent is to investigate and seek resolutions to extraordinarily complex, emotionally laden controversies. The work requires strict adherence to the rule of law while examining all relevant evidence, while being mindful of balancing the underlying interests of all parties involved. In other words, exactly what the Highland Park Zoning Committee has brought to our neighborhood zoning matters, and what Morris is recommending Crestline adopt. It is this dedication to the rule of law, while always working to preserve and protect the interests of all residents and developers, that led Councilor Abbott to appoint Morris to the Zoning Board of Adjustments, ZBA, in 2003. During Morris's 19-year ZBA tenure as a member and a chair, he conducted well over 3,000 hearings on behalf of the city. I encourage those with concerns to volunteer to be on the proposed zoning committee. In a meeting this past year where Morris was presenting, an attendee challenged Morris with excellent and pointed questions from a different point of view. Morris immediately recommended to me that we invite this resident to join the committee because of his willingness to challenge the popular opinion and ask tough questions. I agreed, and the young man subsequently joined the zoning committee. I am myself a member of the committee, even though the president does not have to be. I chose to be a member because I see it as an ongoing opportunity to learn about the complex nature of zoning cases in an effort to further the maintenance and betterment of Highland Park. Morris is consistently proving to be the primary source of my increasing knowledge and insight. If the neighborhood ever felt a vote on a zoning case was premature or needed more clarifications, parliamentary procedure allows for tabling of an item. Our committee is open to meeting with residents publicly or privately to discuss concerns, questions, etc. more in depth, and we strongly encourage/require applicants of zoning changes or variances to attend the meeting of the neighborhood association when the neighborhood holds a vote. If there was ever any suspected conflict of interest or bias from a member, they would be reviewed and potentially removed from the committee. Our goal has always been and continues to be to provide judicious review of zoning, road, and traffic engineering proposals. All decisions of the zoning committee are advisory, and residents can vote as they choose. I believe it would be helpful for your residents to review the current mission statement and qualifications required for our zoning committee members. This can be found on our website. Part of that reads, the mission of the Planning and Zoning Committee is as follows: to protect, maintain, and enhance the quality of life of Highland Park neighborhood through judicious review of zoning, road, and traffic engineering proposals, and through development of neighborhood standards for land use, historic preservation, and traffic issues, being mindful of all times of its strategic location as a buffer community, its diverse residential mix, and its historical heritage. I hope this provides a correction to the misinformation at your July meeting. I'm happy to discuss further if anyone has any questions or thoughts.
Does anyone have a question?
to address some incorrect statements that were made at the previous meeting and made it into the minutes.
So if anybody does want to join the zoning committee that we've begun, please talk to Josh, who's the president.
Has the committee already been formed?
Yes.
I think we voted at the last meeting to delay, but I don't know.
The,
And then we did anyway.
The vote that's delayed is to make this a standing committee, but the president can make his own advisory committees. And that's what this is. I would prefer it to be a standing committee, but we can vote on that next year.
So despite the neighborhood's wishes last month to delay approving this meeting, you have formed the committee.
No, it's a different style of committee.
So you just formed a committee on your own without telling or notifying anybody? You just did this on your own?
The
I'm
president,
assuming you got this recommendation from right here, Morris.
right. So
Yeah,
the
so,
president
so once again,
has an advisory committee and your wife was on it
So-
for a long time.
yeah, so let's talk about this.
And
So
we have
basically,
zoning- we've
the
had
advice,
zoning committees
the
since
advice
we
that you're getting
Yeah.
from Morris is to do everything it can to work around us. He tried to do this on the last thing with the church, Todd, he did.
I don't know why you
We
say
had
that.
the
That's
we had the
not
meeting
case.
we had the meeting in the yard, and he
Right.
was giving you every possible way to delay getting the church approved,
Right.
so that they would run off, and then you could bring in somebody else, which you wanted to do.
After the meeting, I talked to Ricky.
Todd.
I gave him the opportunity to delay it if he wanted to, and he said he did not want to. So we went forward with it. That was it.
And what you also did is you tried to get it where the church didn't have the property, they couldn't build it like they wanted to. And
How
he was
so?
giving you advice because he
What?
wanted to have a parking lot around the front
What-
side of
what
the
do you-
church.
I don't understand what you said.
What I'm saying, Todd, is that you were trying to do everything you could to get the church to walk away. That is
your
true.
opinion,
And then
that's
you
not
went,
the
then you
case.
went down to the city after
The
we
whole
voted,
point of our
after we
meeting was to get the
voted
church to
like
build the church.
63-2, you and someone else, or 3, saying we want the church, we want them to design it and build it how they want to design it and build it, as long as it meets all the requirements. And you still went down there and still try to fight the regulations that they had, so they would have issues with building the parking lot in the church how they wanted it. You went down against everyone else's except for 2 other people and said, no, me and 2 other people, as the president.
Yes, so my
did not want
personal
to.
opinion, I was a different opinion than everybody else.
Well, this is the same
That's
thing.
fine.
Everybody wanted to set up a committee, everybody wanted it delayed, and then all of a sudden you went around their backs based off of Morris again.
I didn't go behind anybody's back. That's your characterization. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, did everybody not say delay it?
Huh?
Everybody said delayed forming this committee.
Not this committee that we are talking about, the standing committee, which is different. The standing committee, like hers, has been going on for 19 years. It's an ongoing thing. And if y'all don't wanna do that, that's
It's
cool.
something that you just
But
appointed,
the
you
yes.
appointed people?
As your wife served on before, yes. The president can build his own advisory committee. It's in the CPP.
And Morris told you could do that, so you
No,
did.
the CPP told me we could do it. Before I met Morris, 6 months ago when I became president, I realized I could because it was the committee that was the advisory committee of the former president that was having the secret meetings with Silverstein.
Okay.
So when I did this, I had my advisory committee, I had a zoning committee. She left, she was run off, so we had to form a new one.
Okay.
In order to form a new one, I wanted to do one really nice like theirs, but if y'all wanna wait on it till next spring, no worries. But I'm not gonna go, through my presidency without having advice from experts.
Who all on the committee?
Josh?
It's up to the neighbor to decide who's on the committee. It's open to anyone and everyone.
The neighborhood voted last month to
Well,
delay.
this is not the same committee that he's talking about. This is not a standing committee. This is an opportunity for the neighbor. This is not a paragraph from Todd or myself. That's what
I've got a traffic committee right now that me and Caroline are on. If anyone wants to be on the traffic committee, you can do that too.
Share at the meeting a list of committees and who all's on them, so we can be informed of.
Sure. Anybody else?
I'm glad to know more information. I know you had another meeting or something, and I think we were all dealing with things that we didn't have enough information.
Well, there's been a lot of misinformation spread around and a lot of characterization about me. And if anybody wants to come talk to me, please, come on. I'll be happy to talk to you. Okay. Would you like to give your report, please?
I don't know.
Let's do it. It'll be nice. This was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. My name is Florence Renfro, and I'm Vice President of the Eastern Block Watch Association. And there is a thing called National Night Out that we have every year since it was started in 1983. And what it is, it's to get the community relationship with the police department and also associations from different areas get to know each other to work together. So we started having it at homes. And the first year we had it at Irene Lynn's, and we had like a fire pit party, invited everybody. The chief of police come, the fire department come. It was really a great community kind of event, getting people back to know each other. Then COVID come, then the police department started losing police officers, so it got where it wasn't useful to have it at home. So we started having it at the East Precinct. So we've had it 3 years down there. This year we had, we invited all of the different associations, the Black Watch people, we had music, we had hot dogs, free food, we had some games, we had a police car. The fire department usually comes, but they had a call, so they didn't make it. And we also had a dance called Boots on the Ground, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, that the police officers and some of the citizens got into. And the chief was there and walked around, the new chief, and talked to a lot of the citizens, and I feel sure there was some problems, some issues brought up. But it was, Todd was there, Marion was there, I was there, a couple other people from, yeah, our group was there. And it's just a fun event. You get to look at police officers like they're human beings, like they're your next door neighbor. And some of the kids was playing games with them, and some of the adults were. So it turned out to be a fun night, and next year we'll have it again too, and I hope more of our association comes to it.
So we had a nice hot dog cookout for everybody outside,
Yeah.
and then inside,
Yeah.
Hunter had a really special catered barbecue dinner from who was it? Moe's Barbecue,
Yeah,
which was really nice.
right.
And then the police officers got to have a really nice selection of desserts.
Yeah.
So what all did they have?
The desserts,
Yeah, there was,
red velvet, German chocolate, pineapple upside down, lemon, regular chocolate.
and she made every single one of those. And these two tables right here, she could have covered 4 of those with all the cakes and stuff that she made.
Let me tell you, those guys eat. You don't have to worry. I would go back to clean up, you know. Don't worry about it.
And do we have a report from the police officer tonight? Are you just showing up to say hello?
Yeah, I really just over to say hello.
Good deal.
I got
I'm sorry.
They're just tied up, they couldn't make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but any questions that I can answer, I will answer.
Yeah, I'll just throw down one little request. We don't really have a lot of problems, and we prefer that y'all are in the areas where they do need you really bad. But occasionally, the guys will come and hang out during the day and just kind of park and make sure traffic's going. And that's wonderful. We want them to do it. And they're in a great spot normally, but right now they're kind of watching where the drain construction is. So everyone's like, you know, being stopped and the traffic's not a problem. But on Hoadley and Gladstone, we've been pushing really hard to get a stop sign at that four-way. And if we could get maybe some records of speeders, you know, like some tickets written on there, that would, because we've also got accidents that we've recorded. So we're just looking for more evidence to try to get our stop sign.
What was that street across the street?
It's Gladstone and Hoadley. It's not a four-way stop. Yeah, Gladstone's got to stop, but Hoadley goes straight through it, and they fly. It's a four-way intersection, and only two ways have stop signs. And Hoadley's just a straight through all the way. And
A couple of things like the stop signs that will help. You mentioned tickets, you know, we do roadblocks, but we try not to do roadblocks in communities, because of the traffic and, you know, it's just not a really good look, you know, of the roadblocks, especially inside of the community. It's like Crestline, you know, we really don't have too much going on. The best way to do that, you know, safely, if you see vehicles that suspicious or don't belong in the neighborhood, have seen in the neighborhood, try to get tagged on. Call it into the non-emergency number, they'll run those tags, and, you know, and they put our roll over those to look for that vehicle. If they have an address that's on the other side of Birmingham, then we try to look into, do they have residents that live in the area, or do they know anyone that lives in the area? If they don't, then we try to, you know, prevent, you know, people from coming in different neighborhoods that really don't belong in those neighborhoods or don't have any relations tied to that neighborhood.
Okay. Well, I went online just to see if there was such a device, and you know, you could buy the little radar guns for baseball and such, little toy versions. They've got one that you can set up, and it'll get speeds as cars drive by, and it'll record it, so it'll tell you how many cars are gone by and what their speed is. And I think that's the kind of thing we could probably use for evidence to get our stop signs. Stop signs are the cheapest way to get traffic problems resolved, and it shouldn't be that difficult, but it is. So, anyway. Got anything for us?
Good evening, everybody.
Hey.
My name is Flora. I serve as the community resource representative. And am I speaking loud enough? Can y'all hear me?
That's all.
Mic, that's okay. So I do want to let you all know about one resource that we have coming down the pipeline. It's Lemonade with Land Bank. It's happening tomorrow at the Birmingham Crossplex from 12 until 1. And so if you want to know more about the Land Bank, how to acquire property, or pretty much how the Land Bank acquires those properties, whatever information you want to know about Land Bank, you have an opportunity to meet with the director and its staff so that you can become familiar with Birmingham Land Bank. Also, I heard some things in the room. I came in a bit late, sorry, I was tardy for the party. I was on another neighborhood association meeting. But I do want everybody in the room to know that you have access to a citizens participation plan, okay? And you can find that information on the city's website, specifically Community Resource Services Division. There you can find the citizens participation plan. It's pretty much like the Bible, or this Bible, what makes this program a program, right? And it does speak about what you can and what you cannot do. And specifically, I heard you all talking about advisory groups. So, true enough, the president, along with the vice president and secretary, can consult together to come to create an advisory group, okay? And that advisory group consists of members who actually live in your neighborhood, okay? And again, you can find more information, but I'm just gonna read a little excerpt. It's on page 8 of the Citizen Participation Plan. For each neighborhood association, there may be an advisory group. Flip my phone, can't see that. There may be an advisory group. Where'd it go? I flipped my phone. Alright, there it is. Members of which are chosen by the president in consultation with the vice president and secretary. The president is responsible for assuring that all geographic areas and interest groups within the neighborhood are represented on the advisory group. This group should include representatives of existing local organizations, the physically impaired, youth, aged, ethnic minorities, and economically disadvantaged. Non-residents interested in the neighborhood, such as citizens who work on or own property there, also may be included on the advisory group. The advisory group should function to help the elected neighborhood officers stay fully aware of local citizens' feelings on issues affecting the neighborhood or the city. They also should serve to assure that information is transmitted fully, accurately, and promptly to and from residents in the neighborhood. So again, it's literally like 15 pages long, maybe longer. Go to that website, pull it up if you're tech savvy. If not, I can provide copies for you all. You can have it so that you can read through and you can know for yourself how this program operates. Okay, because I saw some eyebrows go up, I saw some faces squinch. So, to dispel any myths, or if you want to know for yourself, that's where you go and find that information. Okay? Are there any questions from myself? Yes.
Our neighborhood meeting signs, are they still just going through the process?
Absolutely, they're still going through the process. So they did make it through OCA, yay. They are approved for that, and they should be on budget and finance, and we should see those on the council agenda soon.
And
for
you're
approval.
not having to go through that extra step?
Right, we no longer have to go through an extra step, that's good. And so we can just go from, OCA, budget and finance, straight to council. The extra stuff that he was speaking about, there was a committee that wanted projects to come before them, before going, advancing to budget and finance, and then the city council. So there was an additional step, which kind of added a little more time to processing you all's projects, just bluntly saying it. But, we no longer have to go through that process. So that's the extra step that he's speaking about.
So then also, I know last year we missed out on an opportunity to have a community event in the spring because there was a deadline involved. Is there anything like specifically for the fall?
Right, so, and you all missed the deadline for that, but you can do, well, not necessarily the fall, but it rolls into the winter months as well. But you could do what we call holiday socials and allocate $500 for food items, consumable items only, at your holiday social event, wherever you choose that you want to have that event.
So it may be helpful for us to come up with someone, an advisory committee of sorts to just run
You can
this.
have a
these two
holiday
events.
social, you can have a holiday committee, you could have an emergency response committee, you could have, an ADA committee. You can have as many committees as you like. But yes, I do recommend having a committee. And I do also recommend like making sure you're taking, the advice from those who live in the neighborhood. Like if that's something they want, let's go for it. But if it's something they don't want, let's not do that. Let's not do that. I saw your hand.
So you mentioned you could use money for a holiday social, but would it take like this long to get approved? Okay.
Not those types of projects. Those types of projects have something what we call a blanket resolution, and they don't have to advance before the OCA or budget and finance. We just have to make sure that, you know, what the ask is, it benefits the entire neighborhood, and we get approved through our office. Right. Those resolutions are holiday social,
Is having these, a holiday social and a spring community event maybe at Crestline Park, is that something that we should look into? Anybody like opposed to it? Raise your hand. Cool, all right, let's do that.
I think you are.
Is anybody interested in, helping to work on that? I'm gonna ask you next one, I think.
Help work on what? I heard that. What is that?
Work on
Is it-
a social or an event for the spring,
Oh,
or
I
just
see.
kind of handle
Okay,
the
okay, I see.
project planning.
Gotcha.
Project planning is.
Let me state this as well, so the deadline for all project requests is September 29th. So if you all are interested in maybe, allocating funding or assisting with like your PTA, or, you wanna get some park equipment or something like that, whatever it is that you wanna do, you have until the 29th. Even if you wanna allocate funds to your favorite nonprofit organization who builds the neighborhood, you have until September 29th to send that project sheet to.
September 29th for the whole next year too. It has to be in the September 29th.
So we go to the table, we kind of look at calendars, we look at events, and we look at almanacs, different things, and we kind of create that calendar. So we push it out by the first of the year, but I'm not sure if September 29th will be the deadline for next year as well, because I believe the year before it was October 1st or October 31st or something like that. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? No? Well, I want to leave you all with my contact information. It is 205, which is my office number, 205-254-2423. 205-254-2423. And my email is flora.johnson@birminghamal.gov. You're going to spell Birmingham completely out. flora.johnson@birminghamal.gov. All right. Thank you.
Any new business?
Hey, Todd, I got a question going back to that advisory committee.
Yeah.
A couple months ago when the board or this new group was brought up, it was mentioned that the reason being is, let's say the David Silverstein thing, as an example. We're gonna form that committee so we could let the committee know firsthand, they can do their research, and then let the group know. Is this committee gonna find out information like the David Silverstein group before the rest of us, or are they gonna find out exact same time as us?
They'll find out the same time.
Okay.
They will take their month or whatever to do their research or such, but all the information will be announced to everybody immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're trying to avoid. Did you mention that dog licensing thing tonight? You wanted to save it, since it's not, do you know it's for certain yet?
It's like, I was told, city council. So, it's one food,
Let's, yeah, why don't you do this? Because this is I'm not sure about this, but it definitely sounds concerning. Some news that Florence has about, maybe dog licensing. Yeah, do you mind?
There has been 3 people murdered by pack dogs in the last 3 years. There's issue of pack dogs over in Roebuck. There's some on the south side. As a matter of fact, my sister, I live on Monarch, and where the church is at the red light going into Mountain Brook, she has seen 3 running around, no collar, no tag, and I tell her, don't, stop and mess with them because you don't know these animals. I have put some that I work in my front yard, I have a flower bed there, and I put two up, one in my car, one in the back, where somebody had just let them loose in the park and they ran out. But Becky Wallace, who is president of the Roebuck Association, and Allison Black, who is head of the Humane Society, y'all may know her, you see her on TV all the time, went to the CBC and proposed an issue of dog licensing for Birmingham. And all the money that comes from that would be turned back into the animal division in Birmingham, which I understand is very small. And a lot of people call the police department. It's not a police department's issue. They shouldn't have to deal with these dogs. As a matter of fact, I fostered 2 pit bulls, 3 months old puppies, that the people had moved away and left the puppies in the backyard. I fostered a German Shepherd that we found out was a purebred German Shepherd that somebody opened up the car door and let him out on the street. And it's becoming more and more of an issue. So they took this resolution to the CBC, and now it's gone to O'Quinn, and he has worked out an ordinance. But before it goes to the city council for approval, they're going to have a open forum for the citizens of Birmingham to come and express their opinion. Becky asked me to ask our group to email your councilman and tell them that you're for this proposal.
Or against.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be coming up within the next month. And I told Becky that I tell our group, and hopefully, you know, the communities will work together. It may not be a problem for us, but eventually it could be.
What is the suggestion? Proposal for what?
Ma'am?
What are they proposing? We can't say.
Okay,
we're for
dog
or against it.
licensing. They want to that you have to license your animal. Now, another thing too, if the proposal goes through, Ms. Black said that she, for 2 years, that they will do free spay, neutering, and chipping. Which, that's a big issue too. That's why a lot of these dogs are running wild in packs.
How would the licensing be enforced, do you know?
I don't know, that will come up with O'Quinn's ordinance that he does, and
Probably
then,
no hassle with vets.
yeah.
Make them do it.
And when it comes up, the meetings come up, we can email everybody. And when it goes before the city council, we can email everybody too and find out, you know, if they're gonna pass it, how much it's going to be. And I don't know if that's the answer. But somebody's gotta start somewhere and do something. And our animal pickup is just ridiculous. They don't have enough people, they don't have enough trucks. They have to go from all the way across town, and by that time, the dogs are, you know, gone, and it's just becoming a real bad issue.
The issues that a lot of the city faces with dogs are definitely a lot different from ours. I guess we're
Yeah.
lucky that way. A lot of people will occasionally kind of raise a stink about all the off-leash dogs at the park. and I am here to defend off-leash dogs at the park. That was kind of what brought me to the neighborhood association to begin with, so, yeah, that's my point of view. But if anybody thinks that we should have a park committee, that's something that's been discussed quite a bit, so the dogs would fit in nicely with that. Anybody else got anything? Any old business, new business? All right. None left. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Wow. How about a second? Let's go. Oh wait, is Terry Michael here? Did she come by? The school board seat, I think it's going to be a runoff, and Terry Michael is going to come speak to us. But since she's not here, I think Barbara would just encourage everybody to look into Terry Michael for school board. Thanks, everybody. We're adjourned.